EuroFM Podcast. FM without frontiers.
Welcome to the podcast of EuroFM. I'm here at the table with three fantastic young people, students or former students in the FM industry. And we just had a discussion on stage about young people, young professionals, and the FM work field, and what do young people really need in the future, in the workplace, about mental health, but also the workplace, maybe the way you are working in a day, dividing your work hours, home, hybrid, office, anywhere. So we had a good discussion, I think. So for EuroFM, we're doing this podcast and talking a little bit more about this subject. Maybe you can introduce yourselves, Izzy. Can I start with you?
I'm Izzy. I'm 20 years old. I'm a third-year international facility management student at BUAS, so it's Breda University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. I'm almost done with my studies next year.
My name is Renske. I'm 22 years old and I study the same as Izzy. And I'm here to see all nice working places and companies.
I'm Billy, I'm 21 years old, I'm an apprentice building service engineer. I work for Equans in London, Canary Wharf. It's my third year of my apprenticeship now, nearly done with it.
So we have one young professional and two young people almost becoming young professionals as well in the working field. There was one question, and I think I'm going to ask that one to you guys because you're from the Netherlands. And the lady who asked the question after we were on stage was, why are you guys, your young people, so invested in sustainability, mental health? Why is it so important? And you guys said, well, maybe it's really important in the Netherlands, so maybe it's a culture thing. Can you explain more about it?
I think also, I think it's very a Netherlands thing, but also through the government. I think that's also been a bit steered with the little the staatsgeld, the little bottles with the money on it that we have. So I think it's also been steered throughout that as well, being sustainable, but also through school. I think they very influence us. I must say, can they influence us in thinking that way, basically, of thinking about mental well-being, but also they kind of steer us into a manager role. So, okay, what do you want to see from your employees? How can you support your employees being well-being and sustainable? So I think that's, I think school has kind of influenced us in that as well, thinking that way, basically.
Yeah, I think we learn it already from such a young age, also from our parents maybe, in my house, we already learned it from such a young age. It's very important, sustainability, but also just talk about your feelings. I think it's just general that we learn it very quickly and early.
And is that different for you, Billy? Because you're from the UK. Sustainability, young people, is that?
I think most young people have the same sort of view in this country. Maybe not all organisations. The company I work for are brilliant for sustainability. They've got a lot of policies and procedures in that are pushing us towards sort of net zero. And I think it's really important for everybody to get involved with and stuff because there is no plan B. No. It's really important. But I think it's definitely a good culture in the UK. Here, most young people, as you said, they've all been brought up from school with it, and sort of they're a lot more aware than other generations are.
Okay. So that's not a cultural thing. It's also maybe the lady has a different opinion, or I don't know. But as I recall, you guys, there's no difference within the UK and the Netherlands. Another thing we were talking about is, I called it job hopping, but you young people are, going from job to another job within a few years' times. And a lot of companies say, well, I'm losing my young people because they're starting as a junior, maybe being a meteor, and then they're off. And I want seniors also in my team. What can we do to keep you in the company so that you can be also a senior and help the company further, Billy?
I think sort of setting out a clear sort of progression path and having regular conversations with senior management. Okay, well, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years' time? And what do you want from us? What do you want to do? And how do you want to progress with yourself? It's something that's really promoted quite well within my company. My sort of managers have gone above and beyond, to set out a clear sort of path for me. And sort of knowing your worth within the company as well.
So what you're saying is that also the HR aspect of a job, talking to you and see how your future is where you want to go in the future. So HR
a lot of outreach, from management, HR and
Yeah.
stuff, and setting a sort of clear path of what you want to do and what the company can do to support that.
Okay. And Renske, do you think there are also some parts of facility management that we can do to keep you in the company?
I think that's a difficult one. I think also, for example, I'm doing this project now in school about job hopping. So we're really looking into, what are students expecting from their workplace? What we have seen is also that the expectations are, there's a gap between expectation and the reality, which is quite interesting, of course. So what we're now looking into is how can we change the expectations from the reality? Because there's also where job hopping comes from. If I'm applying for a company and I don't like it, then maybe my expectations were not on the same level. So what kind of facilities? I think that's really hard, because if you don't really like the job, then you have to, of course, move on. What Philip was already saying, just really focus on HR. What do you really want? Can we create something that a position that fits you? So I think that's really important. But facilities,
Or
maybe easy.
Maybe the facilities are not the issue here. Maybe that's not what you guys need, but it's more the personal aspect of management, leadership, HR. Easy?
Yeah, I have another perspective that I'm just thinking as a newly graduate, you're looking for a job, you maybe don't get the job that you want, so you go to another job and then you're like, oh, I've got 2 years experience now from this job, I'll go to the other job, I can go back and try again. And maybe you're like, oh, I didn't get the job again, so you go back to another job. So I think also that's what a lot of young people are doing, because I think a lot of companies where you apply to as a newly graduate, oh, you don't have any experience, I don't want you in my company. So you're probably like, oh, I'll go find another job, stay there for a few years, get experience on my CV, and then go back. So I think that's also one problem a lot, that I think companies that you really want to work for don't take people without any real experience in the work field. Yeah, you've got your internships, but that doesn't really say anything. I think they really want to see that you worked for big projects. I think that's also what a lot of students do, is they're just like, oh, got now the 2 year experience on my CV, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
it's tricky, because how are you supposed to get that experience coming out of uni and stuff? You're not going to have that experience.
So that's also, I think, the problem with job hopping now, is that people get the easier job and then they go to the harder job that they really actually want, and then they've got the experience to get that job. So I think that's also contributes to that.
Definitely.
The experience you get from your university, because you were saying we do projects, you do internships. Is that not an experience that companies say, well, that's enough for me to hire you? Does it count?
I think it's hard, because I think with us now, they've totally changed the curriculum. So they've totally gone over to project-based learning, because they talk with the work field and saying, hey, what are you missing from our students, really? What are you missing that they come from school? What do they need? And they're like, okay, but your students have all the knowledge, but they don't know what to do with it. So they've totally changed the project. They've totally gone over to project-based learning. So I think that helps a lot, that we get lessons and we apply our knowledge straight away to a certain project. But I think the difference with the work field and here, you don't get any pushback from school. In the real world, you get pushback from stakeholders, maybe a budget that comes in, you don't have enough budget all of a sudden. So I think that is a bit missing maybe. Yeah, that's hard to do at school, of course. Yeah, you get the project, but you don't get a stakeholder coming in and saying, hey, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, I think that's hard to really balance at school as well. So I think that's hard to do.
And while you were saying this, I'm thinking I had a network evening at my old university.
Yeah.
And one of the things, it was about what do we need to teach the students for FM for the future.
Yeah.
And one of the common things a lot of companies said, well, yeah, they can learn a lot about workplace or services or whatsoever, but you can learn it from a book, you can learn it from a YouTube or whatever. But the most important thing for the universities is the young people, make them critical thinkers, make them young adults, know how to interact, how to communicate. So it's more the personal development for young people than rather all the things you can learn from books.
Yeah.
Is that something you can relate to as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think for our experience, I think you did a different project than me. We have an integrated project, which means take all your knowledge that you know and apply it to a project, basically. So I did a project for rituals in the Netherlands, and that was really great because originally it wasn't anything, basically not anything to do with school. The commissioner came in, they had a chat, this is what we want, please design something for us. So then that was a lot about like workplace design then, but I think you can apply that to anything really. So I think that was great to have the real commissioner come in, not like just like a fictive like
Fixed case.
No,
Yeah,
it's just
or
like it's a real case, and they really used our knowledge and really used what we made for them really. So that was good to see that they really appreciated you see that you go to the head office, you do your presentation, you do your pitch, they give feedback. There's like, well, we love your idea. Please elaborate more on it. And I think that helps a lot as well. Like doing it for a real commissioner, really.
Yeah.
That's
It's because you get so many other opinions and view of it, because it's cool. You're like, okay, this is what we want. But a real commissioner, they really look into, okay, what is the best for our company? So yeah, we just said
and they
that's
push
just,
back.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, that won't work for us, so change your idea.
Yeah.
And at school, it's just like, you make your idea, you present it, you get your grade, and you're done.
And
continue,
And
to the next
move
one.
on, and the next one. So I think
you're not going to know whether or not it's really going to work and stuff. You're not going to learn.
Yeah, you're not going to learn.
For me, the way that I sort of learn is that I'm not going to fully understand something until I put it into practice and physically done it myself. Because then you fully understand it, and then you go, right, well, that worked, that didn't. I can move on from that and take that. Sort of thing.
So with that project now as well, we've learned, we got an idea. How do we go from 0 to 100 really? And we got total freedom in that. So yeah, we got some guidance from school. Okay, you make a project plan first, but now we know for future, how do we start a project? How do I start my idea, basically? So that was one of the best projects I've done in my school now that I really enjoyed. Yeah, but also a real project, so that was fun. Yeah.
So working in real projects is
I think that's the best idea.
Trial and error is what you're doing.
That's what it is. And then you had like a midterm pitch, and they said no, scrap that, start again. And then you go back to stage 1 again. So I think that's trial and error.
I think you can really show a company your worth when you go in and do like a project like that and work for real, because then they can see the sort of fresh new ideas that young people are bringing in and stuff and changing the industry.
That's why they came in, because they were lost.
Yeah.
Basically, they're lost in their ideas and they wanted a new perspective on it.
Because you will take a different perspective on it that someone else does.
We think about it differently.
Brand, you've just been to uni, you've learned all of the new sort of practices and the way that things are done now, and then you can put that into place and show them the new sort of fresh ideas you've got.
Yeah, and it was also about, the project was about like Gen Z, as they call it. I don't really like the term Gen Z, but the project was about Gen Z, so they thought that we knew the best about Gen Z and what would we like to see in the workplace, basically. That was the project was about. So that was good for them as well. Yeah,
and one of the things in the end was also interesting, and we don't have the answer because we talked a little bit more, but maybe for the podcast it's good to say again.
Yeah.
What do you want from work? What do you find important? And you all said, well, I want a connection with my colleagues, connection with my team. But how do we connect with each other if we're working from anywhere, from home, from I don't know where, and sometimes in the office? But if we're a team and you're in the office and I'm at home, we're still not connecting. What's not the magical thing to create the connection?
Social events, I think, work really well. Yeah. You really you get to know somebody, because whether it's an activity or an event like outside of work, you'll get to know a different sort of side of them. I've done a few charity dodgeball events, with fellow apprentices and stuff, and you really get to know what they're like outside of work. So that sort of outside event, outside of a work setting, I think really helps.
Yeah, they do work them community events. I did that on my internship as well. We organized community events for basically the whole building, basically. Yeah, we didn't have much people come, but it's kind of a push and pull effect. Okay, you can't complain and then don't come to the events. So it's a bit like you need to put in the energy yourself as well to make them connections. So,
so you have to make sure that people want to come. So you make it attractive enough.
Yeah, like different events. We did like a monthly bingo with prizes and that kind of like.
The other one wants to dance, and the other one wants a workshop.
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that. To make variety for people. Yeah.
It's also more an HR thing.
Yeah, it's about mental health, connecting with people.
About connecting, of course. And
so listening to, because we're facility management, EuroFM is for facility management, but it's so close to HR, and maybe also, and we haven't discussed that topic as well, but also with the technical part, the IT is also maybe part of FM.
Yeah, it's so fun about FM. It's so much.
Yeah.
You can
So, yeah,
you're
so many
connected to
different-
so much stuff. So it's
Wow.
so fun to see the links between all different kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Well, you have to tell that to all the young people, because I think it's a job where we have a lot of opportunities to work
Yeah.
in, but we also need the students who are ready to work in facility management. So,
I don't think it's very well known about, not in this country. You know,
no, especially in the UK, I think. Oh.
My sort of first outset from when I was at college and sort of decided, right, well, I was going to go and do an electrical qualification. I'll go and be installing electrical equipment every day. Well, it's not the case now. I've moved into facilities management and I'm doing a different side of engineering. And I don't think it's very well known about.
No, it is in the UK especially. In the Netherlands, it's known. We have a lot of universities and for facility management, but still,
It's known but not known, I think.
Yeah.
We have to see that at school as well. I do a bit of marketing for our university. You see that we are the same academy as our hotel management degree, and you see a lot of people go straight to the hotel because they know what it is. And the facilities are like, but what is it? And they walk over to us like, oh, we just wanted to see what it is. And they're like, oh, it's quite interesting actually. So I think the name confuses people a lot. I think that was it. Like, oh, I need to clean toilets the rest of my life, but that's not the only thing that you can do with it. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the next discussion to talk about the name of facility management. Is it something that covers it all or not? But I want to close it here because we had a good conversation on stage. I would really like to thank you. And now the podcast, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
you.
much.
EuroFM Podcast. FM without frontiers.